Formula One, the pinnacle of motorsport, where speed, technology, and human skill push the limits of possibility. But how did it all begin? Today we take you back to the birth of Formula One, tracing its origins from post-war Europe to becoming the greatest racing championship on the planet. To understand Formula One, we must go back to the early 20th century. Grand Prix racing existed long before F1. The first ever recognized motor race was held in 1894 from Paris to Rouen, organized by a French newspaper. Over the years, various automobile clubs across Europe started holding their own races, but there were no standardized rules. In 1906, the first official Grand Prix race was held in Le Mans, France, organized by the Automobile Club de France. This race featured cars representing manufacturers rather than private owners. The Grand Prix quickly became a prestigious event, attracting Europe's best engineers and drivers. By the 1930s, Grand Prix racing had evolved into a battle between manufacturers like Alfa Romeo, Mercedes-Benz, and Auto Union. These years saw the rise of technological innovations, including supercharged engines and streamlined car designs. But then World War II brought everything to a halt. Racing stopped, circuits fell into disrepair, and the focus shifted to survival. However, once the war ended, the world was ready for racing again. After World War II, racing enthusiasts were eager to bring back Grand Prix competition. Many races were organized in the late 1940s, but there was still no unified championship. That's when the FIA, the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, stepped in to create a standardized set of rules, and thus, Formula One was born. On June 10, 1947, the FIA officially established Formula One as the premier racing category. The term formula referred to a strict set of rules that all teams and cars had to follow. But it wasn't until 1950 that the first ever Formula One World Championship was held. The very first Formula One race took place on May 13, 1950, at Silverstone, England. It was the start of something legendary. The first ever Formula One season in 1950 consisted of 7 races, including the British Grand Prix, Monaco, and the famous Indy 500. The early years were dominated by Alfa Romeo's 158 car, driven by Giuseppe Farina and Juan Manuel Fangio. In the end, it was Giuseppe Farina who became the first Formula One world champion, narrowly defeating his teammate Juan Manuel Fangio. But this was just the beginning. In the following years, Juan Manuel Fangio became the first dominant superstar of Formula One, winning 5 world championships with Alfa Romeo, Mercedes, Maserati, and Ferrari. His incredible skill and mechanical understanding set the standard for future generations. The 1960s introduced new legends like Stirling Moss and Jim Clark, while F1 cars began to evolve with aerodynamic advancements and powerful engines. This was also the era when safety became a growing concern, as fatal accidents were tragically common. Formula One never stopped evolving. In the 1970s, Niki Lauda and James Hunt brought F1 into the mainstream with their intense rivalry. The 1980s saw the rise of turbocharged monsters and the legendary Ayrton Senna versus Alain Prost battles. The 1990s and early 2000s were defined by Michael Schumacher, who led Ferrari to 5 consecutive championships, becoming one of the most successful drivers in history. Today, Lewis Hamilton, Max Verstappen, and a new generation of drivers continue to push the limits, making Formula One more exciting than ever. From a handful of post-war races to a global phenomenon, Formula One has come a long way. The sport continues to evolve, with new technologies, new rivalries, and a growing fan base worldwide. But one thing remains the same. Formula One is the ultimate test of speed, skill, and engineering brilliance. What's your favorite Formula One moment? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into F1 history, don't forget to like and subscribe for more motorsport stories. See you on the track!